Here we go again, once again on the road. There are many people in our country and even beyond that enjoy a drive around a tea plantation. But what is it with the tea view that just leaves you amazed, no matter how many times you go there? Could this be the reason they say tea time is any time? Is it the greenness in the tea or the carpet golf course-like view that is ever present? Whatever it is good. Now to our destination this week. The theme in this edition lies in the depth of one of the biggest rivers in Malawi, the Ruo River. It is the largest tributary of the Shire River in southern Malawi. Quite ironic, I know, because what you see here is far from something called a largest tributary. But then, there's a reason why. First, Ruo River has two origins. Yes, you heard me right. Two origins. Interesting, right? Its waters come in from other rivers that feed it, like Lochenya, Likubula, and Tuchila. Now, when the season is dry, so does the speed of the river. It slows down, but not to a point of redundancy. It still gives one's eyes pleasure. Even the sound of the water itself, the waves, somehow speak to the inner soul. A very calming feeling indeed. Still more, the tea plantations we passed get watered through this same river, and estates like Lojeri who pump the water up to the fields, giving us that beautiful scene we always gaze at in estates. But hold on a minute. There's more. From the same Ruo River comes an inoperational 8.25 megawatts of electricity under the Ruo Ndiza hydroelectric power station under the Mulanje renewable energy, generating 6.6 kilovolts and feeding into the Eskom grid 33 kilovolts. At the same time, giving employment to surrounding certified community members and even those outside. This is how important the Ruo River is, even bringing in such investments. Imagine. Records indicate that power to Blantyre came through diesel generators way back, and this facility was the sole provider of about 4 megawatts of electricity built in the 1920s. Now it has been handed over to the Mulanje Mountain Conservation Trust for research purposes, and they are also renovating it to provide a campsite. Carl Brussel is the executive director of the Conservation Trust and shares more insights into the Ruo River from the conservation aspect.
I think most people know that the River River is the second biggest river in Malawi. It comes from headwaters above Chinzama Hut at about 2,500 meters, so quite high, and going back from here it's only about 5 kilometers. So you can see it drops quite dramatically. It's a little stream with lots of big pools above there, and then a big waterfall at the top here that drops for about 500 to 600 feet. Dramatic big waterfall, and then comes down through the rainforest. And the river itself is in the middle of where we have the highest rainfall in Malawi. So in this area is where we get 3 to 5 meters of rain a year. And obviously this river is draining that out of the mountain, but through a rainforest that is absorbing as much rain as it can. So what makes there be less floods down there is how good this forest is. Because if we don't have the forest, we'll have flash flood after flash flood down there.
So, to avoid such precedences and flooding, the Mulanje Mountain Conservation Trust built a partnership with the communities to work in conserving the rainforest.
The forest reserve is still the responsibility of the forestry department. We see that this particular valley is critical to the ecology of the mountain because this is the biggest section of rainforest. So when you see all these trees around here, they're all like 150 to 200 feet high. You're not going to see that many places around Malawi. So we want to make sure, both for the sake of the river and its benefits downstream, but also for the rainforest and all the unique plants that are in there, that this area is used carefully and not used excessively. So we work with communities on the outside. For example, we have helped Sukambisi Trust with their smallholders from the very beginning, and they grow tea in this area here, but we have a contract with them through Rainforest Alliance that they do not touch this forest. If they touch this forest, then the certification of their tea disappears. So everything is about partnerships here. It's partnerships with Lugiri Tea Estate, it's partnerships with Mulanje Hydro Limited, it's partnerships with traditional authorities, with tea smallholder groups. That's the best way we can look after this forest.
Even more, the scenic view on this rainforest is simply captivating, with people's livelihoods depending on it as well as a major source of electricity around Mulanje and the surrounding districts. All this from our main agenda in this program, the Ruo River.
So obviously at the end of the day, if you look around Malawi and said, where was hydroelectricity flowing? This place here, this facility behind us, was built in 1928. So this was the biggest electrification system based on hydropower in Malawi going back to the early 1900s. In Blantyre in those days, electricity came from diesel generators into Shire because there was no link to the rivers along the Shire. So this is the first hydropower plant of any size, this one right here that was producing 4 megawatts. Obviously at the end of the day, much more power can be produced. We just need to be clever about it. So that's why this is now defunct and has been gifted to MMCT in the long term for management, research and tourism in this area. But downstream, you will see a much bigger scheme now that is taking water from 2 different rivers and producing much more electricity. So that is the second power company that's here. Mega Magetsi, that belongs to MMCT on this side in Bondo village. That is our company. This is Mulanje Hydro Limited working here. And around the corner here we have a third company called Cedar Energy that's putting in another hydropower station on the Mulanje River. That all adds up to already about 12 megawatts of renewable energy. What we see is that this water here starting to join up with the Mulanje, with the Likabula, and going further downstream. Once you get to a place like Zoa Falls going down to Nsanji, that whole area there can be used for production of a lot of electricity. It hasn't been touched because it seemed to be a long way away. But there's an easy 200 megawatts sitting in that valley, dropping down there. And the Mozambicans are already starting to exploit it from the other side. So we hope that maybe we can work together with them. So as a river, it has great potential for power. As a river in this whole district, it is producing water for the tea estate irrigation. And right now, because of climate change, the tea estate cannot grow tea without irrigation. So as a critical industry to Malawi, the Ruo and 1 or 2 other subsidiary rivers are making sure that the tea industry stays here in Mulanje, which is great. And we have to work out how we extend that to the smallholders. But obviously, apart from estate irrigation, you also have smallholder irrigation. Little schemes that take off water and go in various places. And those are common all the way around the mountain. But in the Ruo, because of the volume of water, it's much easier for people to take those and make them bigger. Beyond that, everybody in this whole area from here down survives on nice, clean, look how clean it is. It's absolutely, you can see straight to the bottom. You don't see that in most places in Malawi. This water is as clean as can be. It supplies household water, it supplies drinking water into the towns like Limbuli, Maloza, other places around for all the state housing, etc. Everybody in this area thrives on this water and it's beautifully clean. And then there's all sorts of other smaller things like fish farming, which are important as well and that need to be upscaled. But those are the 4 main areas of benefits that one river brings, if we look after it.
Indeed, if we look after it. This is what our individual homework should be. As for you and I, it is as simple as don't take what you did not bring each time you visit such scenes. Simply gaze, adore, enjoy, and most importantly, keep it in your record that you have been there.
A lot of people like rainforest environments. They like to come and see nature like this on a grand scale. Water. What we see up here is, in time to come, is that there would be what we call a couple of bush camps. Just places that you can walk to. They've totally blended into the rainforest, no concrete, and people come and they just listen to the river, listen to the birds and everything else, and just feel the whole energy of what a rainforest is. So it's not like we can do like river paddling down here. Once you get a bit further down, yes, from the middle of the tea estate, you can take canoes and go down the river, and that's a very nice way to spend a day, yeah? And we've done that a lot. So I think the attraction just is that the rainforest plus this very beautiful setting of these big rocks and water splashing down all over the place is very uplifting.
The Ruo River is also a great potential for tourism. By its history, the river alone has interesting facts. One such place that needs the discovery of you and I is the Mbia Pool. People around here call it the Virgin Place. Not many have had a chance to visit, though. But the rocks around the Ruo River gave space somehow to formulate these nature pools. It's actually a perfect spot for summer swims, as the water is generally cold and beautiful.
This river has got many beautiful places. One of them is this Mbia Pools, which is a virgin place except for few internationals who have visited the place. Long time ago, people around this community, they believe that this place is where they could meet their ancestral spirits.
I really would urge you to come here. Take a few friends, the family, just come and simply be breathtaking. Either lie down on the rocks here, which look silky, or listen to the humming of the birds or the river flow. Simply put, just come here and unwind. People living around here in Ndaonetsa village and the surrounding areas have a story to share behind this place too. So, we followed the village headman here. The village headman tells us how it looked like there are two rivers in Ruo, but It is just one river that somehow got divided.
Sinjeu ndi waukulu kuposera misinje yose imene tili nayo kuno.
He says that they know that it is the second biggest river in Malawi, but adds more meat on the mystery behind the pools we just visited.
Pamene paja panali zozizwisa kalepo kale pamene paja pamatha kutuluka zitenje.
He says back in the days, the place would give out traditional zitenje. Yes, wrappers.
Mapeto otuluka zitenje kuti zinthuzi zisatulukeso panazatuluka machini singara osokera. Ndiye poona kuti anthu analipo angapo anakanganira ete wina anga kena kumachini yanazabwerera kuchokera mu nthawi imeneyo sapana tupezekeso kanthu kena kali kose komanso pakhalapo pepuka kusiyana ndi munyengo imeneyo panalipo demerera.
But not anymore, he says. The pieces of material don't come out anymore. He says one time the pools brought forward a sewing machine, which people fought for, and in the end, the machine just disappeared, and the clothes never came back.
Chifukwa yote anakanganira machini osogera ndiye inakhala ngati mizimu ja yapyatima kuti mukukanganiraso basi inapezeka kuti kuchokera mu nthawi imeneyo mpaka nthawi ino ndipo tikukula sapana tulukeso kanthu kena kali konse.
Ine ndikaima papiri la Mulanje Ruo anditenge ine.
Now, the sound in the background was a hit back in the days. We also had a chance of catching up on what the song really meant.
Sinje onali opya chifukwa choti mmene ndanena kuti misinje ndiyo chuka chifukwa inali yaikulu imatenga mazi kwambiri. Ndiyo jana imba timati Diamond Kuzala, anaimba uja Diamond Kuzala. Ndiye iyo jamanena kuti ndikaima papiri la Mulanje.
We eventually found out that what the song means was a lamentation on how big and fast-flowing the river is. So powerful that it can even drown the singer into Shire River.
Ambiri. Mvula so inali yosasowa ikangovumba kandi 1 week ija ndiye kuti mazi atakukhala 2 weeks mazi asana apwere koma ali mobe ochuluka.
So, not a take-home message really, but just being mindful that this is not an ordinary river, big and heavy indeed. It also turned out that the rainforest Carl spoke about earlier is what the communities have understood and seen the benefits now. So they conserve the environment and guard it jealously.
Ndingana kusonyezera ni kalango imene ndili nayo otati tiendemo mwina titha kutenga 2 weeks kapena 3 weeks tisana imalize ndiye timakhala ngatibe tikuigadira kuti imeneyo isaonongeke chifukwa nthawi zina timakhala ndi mvula yathu tokha pano kupita pa office ya hydro.
Village headman Ndaonetsa spoke with pride as he tells us of a forest he has that can take up to 2 weeks of moving around in it to appreciate its size. He says this forest helps them have rain even when other villages don't have. And now he discourages charcoal burning in his area to conserve the environment. Then we left the upper part of the Ruo going down, but satisfied of the river's impact.
Naishi mapapira zanditenga ulendo ku Zambezi ine. Zambeza zanditenga ulendo nyanja ya Nchere ine.
We thought we were done, and as we drove past Tekerani into nearby villages, thinking it was a shorter way home, then until we got here. This is the magnificent Zoa Falls, located in Chipangula village in Tiensabwe. This magnificent waterfall, which according to statistics provided by Mulanje Conservation Trust, can produce up to 200 megawatts of electricity. Just imagine. Furthermore, this is a great destination for tourism. The water splashes greet you as you walk around to the stream, and upon arrival, it is simply captivating and insanely beautiful. I stood here literally amazed. Is this Malawi? But yes, it is. It is our beautiful Malawi. Need I say more? Please do pay this place a visit. Most definitely this year, if your time permits. We willy-nilly left the falls as our journey was to explore all avenues of the river. So from the small streams trekking down, it all goes down to one major river that carefully meets up the Shire River, joining it at Chiromo in Nsanje. As our journey came to an end, one thing was for sure: Malawi is surely blessed to have such a river whose impact is too numerous. Well, whatever the course the river took us, helped us to discover more and left us wondering, where do we take you next?